wonder, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Good morning! The music you have just heard invites us to arrive, to settle body and spirit, and to prepare for this time of worship. As an act of care for those gathered here and for those joining us online, please silence your devices so that we may share this time in presence and connection. That would also include airplane mode. If you are visiting today, you are invited to fill out a card from the seat back and return it at the welcome table or in the offering plate so we may extend our welcome to you. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Good morning again! Welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether you are here at the sanctuary or joining us online, whether for the first time or the 1,000th, we are glad you are here. My name is TJ Sang, and I am honored to serve as your lay leader this morning. San Gabriel is part of a larger movement of Unitarian Universalist congregations working together for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. And here in this community, we begin that work by sustaining one another in love.
Good morning. Welcome to... I'm going to read TJ's part of the script over again, just for fun. We're going to double down on it this morning. I'm Eric Hepburn. My pronouns are he, him. I'm honored to serve as your pulpiteer this morning. Together we will enter a time of word and silence, of song and spirit, as we shape this time of worship. Worship is a funny word. It's got lots of near enemies and counterfeits. But at its root meaning, what it means is to hold up and center that which is of value. So that's what we'll try to do this morning. Please recite after me the words to light our chalice. We light this flame to remind us. Love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love is our center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love endures. Let us greet this day in song. Our calling in song is When Our Heart is Open, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, number 1008 in the Teal Hymnal. The lyrics will be projected. Please rise in body or spirit as we join our voices to welcome the day and one another.
We
The Wonder Box reminds us that wisdom often comes in small packages, and that curiosity is a sacred gift at every age. Candace White, our Director of Religious Exploration, will now share this time of learning and wonder with us.
Good morning. As you know, every month in RE we focus on a specific theme. Right now, however, we are taking a break from our regular curriculum to learn about 3 winter light traditions in preparation for our all-ages service on December 21st. Let's open up the Wonder Box to see which light tradition we're going to explore today. It's a little noisy. Look at this. It's just a small light. You might think it could go out at any moment, but it doesn't. Even when I turn it upside down, even when I cover it, even when everything around it is dark, it still shines. Some lights, even tiny ones, are braver than they look. I wonder, have you ever seen a small light that kept shining when things got hard? Have you ever been that light? May your song be our blessing as we go to the little house to discover how small flames of courage can help light the way for everyone.
Please join me in singing the children out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May your strength of God's love Our hearts hold both joy and sorrow. Spoken here, they become healing medicine. If you wish to share, raise your hand, begin with your name, and hold the microphone so that your voice flows into it. A brief word spoken with care can be enough medicine for us all. Thank you all for sharing. For all that remains unspoken, this community holds you in love. We now pause to honor the great world house of which we are a part, lifting up the needs, the voices, and the hopes beyond these doors. This week in Gaza, there was a quiet candlelight vigil. Palestinians and Muslims, Jews and Muslims joined together. They were parents of the dead. They were siblings of the dead. And they gathered not for protest or politics, but simply to light candles in the dark. They stood in a circle, holding grief in one hand and hope in the other. No speeches, no slogans, just a shared willingness to bear witness to what is, and a shared refusal to let despair have the last word. The moment didn't resolve anything, and it didn't pretend to. It held paradox instead. Sorrow and tenderness, exhaustion and courage, the heaviness of the present, and the shimmering possibility of a future faintly visible, yet present in their hearts. What they created together was not certainty but space. space where humanity could still breathe, where compassion could still gather itself, where the smallest gesture could become prayer for the world. Sometimes the most hopeful thing we can do is simply stay open to one another in a difficult hour, to hold a small light and trust that even a fragile flame can help us see the path ahead. Our song of yearning this morning is If You Believe by Jim Britton. As we listen, let this music carry our tender hopes and deep questions into a place of prayer and presence. So happy to be joined up here by Laura Vai. Welcome back, Laura.
Let us enter a still place within, opening our hearts and minds to receive this voice of wisdom. After the words are spoken, we will breathe together in silence, preparing ourselves for the word unfolding among us. Today's voice of wisdom comes from Rebecca Solnit. Hope is an embrace of the unknown and the unknowable, an alternative to the certainty of both optimists and pessimists. Optimists think it will all be fine without our involvement. Pessimists take the opposite position. Both excuse themselves from acting. Hope is the belief that what we do matters, even though how and when it may matter, who and what it may impact, are not things we can know beforehand.
From breath to word, from silence to speech, we enter the unfolding in word. Recall the image from Gaza. People holding hope and grief together in paradox. This is an example of what I would call faithful witness. It's going to be a core theme of today's sermon, which is entitled Choosing Hope Beyond Optimism and Pessimism. Faithful witness. They didn't deny the truth of what was happening. They didn't collapse beneath the weight of it. They created space for their humanity to breathe. When they did that, they created space for all humanity to breathe. Now, I've preached to you all before about the Stockdale paradox. I read to you Brené Brown's version of it. This morning, I'm going to share the version off of which her version is based. It comes from author Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great. Eric's funny footnote is, you can even find the voice of God in management writing. It is funny, but I mean it quite seriously. If we only look for the voice of God in those who pore over dusty tomes, imagining that there was a secret in the deep past unavailable to us today, we miss out on the voices of our brothers and sisters and siblings who tap into the voice of God here today and ask, what does it mean to thrive, to be alive, to flourish? I'm going to tell you why I think that authors like Brené Brown and Jim Collins bear faithful witness. They are neither optimists nor pessimists, but they said, I will show up to this data about how the world really works. I will not accept a temporary spike in performance as evidence of greatness. I will look for sustained performance over the long run, and I will ask the hard questions. What did they do so that this community could produce things that were consistently exceptional? What is their secret? They got curious enough to let what they learned from their curiosity rewrite what they believed about how the world works. That, my friends, is faithful witness. That is showing up to the world as it is and letting it become your teacher. Here's our passage. Once again, this comes from Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great. Every good to great company faced significant adversity along the way to greatness, of one sort or another. In every case, the management routine responded with a powerful psychological duality. On the one hand, they stoically accepted the brutal facts of reality. On the other hand, they maintained an unwavering faith in the endgame and a commitment to prevail as a great company despite the brutal facts. We came to call this duality the Stockdale paradox. The name refers to Admiral Jim Stockdale, who was the highest-ranking United States military officer in the Hanoi Hilton, a prisoner of war camp during the height of the Vietnam War. Tortured over 20 times during his 8-year imprisonment from 1965 to 1973, Stockdale lived out the war without any prisoner's rights, no set release date, and no certainty as to whether he would even survive to see his family. You can understand, then, my anticipation at the prospect of spending a part of an afternoon with Stockdale. One of my students had written his paper on Stockdale, who happened to be a senior research fellow studying the Stoic philosophers at the Hoover Institution right across the street from my office. And Stockdale invited the two of us for lunch. In preparation, I read In Love and War, the book Stockdale and his wife had written in alternating chapters, chronicling their experiences during those 8 years. As I moved through the book, I found myself getting depressed. It just seemed so bleak. The uncertainty of his fate, the brutality of his captors, and so forth. And then it dawned on me. Here I am, sitting in my warm and comfortable office, looking out over the beautiful Stanford campus on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm getting depressed reading this. And I know the end of the story. I know that he gets out, reunites with his family, becomes a national hero, and gets to spend the later years of his life studying philosophy on this same beautiful campus. And it feels depressing for me. How on earth did he deal with it when he was actually there and did not yet know the end of the story? Quote from Stockdale. I never lost faith in the end of the story, he said when I asked him. I never doubted not only that I would get out, but also that I would prevail in the end and turn the experience into the defining event of my life, which, in retrospect, I would not trade. I didn't say anything for many minutes, and we continued the slow walk toward the faculty club. Stockdale limping and Ark swinging his stiff left leg that had never fully recovered from repeated torture. Finally, after about 100 meters of silence, I asked, who didn't make it out? Oh, that's easy, he said. The optimists. The optimists? I don't understand, I said, now completely confused given what he'd said 100 years earlier. The optimists, they were the ones who said, we're going to be out by Christmas. And Christmas would come and Christmas would go, and they'd say, we're going to be out by Easter. And Easter would come and Easter would go, and then Thanksgiving, and then it would be Christmas again. And they died of a broken heart. Another long pause, and then we're walking. He turned to me and said, this is a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be. To this day, I carry a mental image of Stockdale admonishing the optimists. We're not getting out by Christmas. Feel it. Y'all have heard me preach on the concept of the near enemy. So I'm going to frame it like this. What if optimism is the near enemy of hope? What if optimism is the near enemy of hope? Optimism wants relief, not truth. It seeks comfort instead of clarity. It rises too quickly above the real and collapses witness into wishful thinking. Optimism can't bear hard truths, and therefore it can't ground action. Hope, However, hope, when held in faithful witness, is strong enough to face any truth, no matter how bleak. Pessimism. What if pessimism is the near enemy of realism? What if pessimism simply mistakes despair for honesty? What if it over-identifies with the wound? What if it ignores both possibility and agency and collapses mystery into futility? You see, pessimism can't see possibility, so it can't nurture change. Realism, when held in faithful witness, creates the conditions for meaningful agency and action. Faithful witness might just be a pairing of these two virtues. Faithfulness, I think, is just another word for hope. I think faith and hope are two fingers pointing at the same moon, the same deep truth. And what is witness but realism? An unflinching capacity and ability, and most importantly, willingness to see what is as it is, not as you wish it to be. We sang a song a little bit ago, when we hear our voices in each other's words. Our voices. When we hear the voice of God. Our voice in each other's words, even when those others are writing about successful capitalist companies. What if this ability to bear faithful witness is what brings balance to that 7x multiplier at PQ1? I've told you that we are 7 times more sensitive to threat and danger and negative information and negative media than we are to good news, good stories, happy events. What if bearing faithful witness, holding the tension between hope and realism, is a way that we balance the scales so we can engage the world as it is, not as we fear it might be? Both optimism and pessimism are evasions. One denies the brutal facts, the other denies the possibility of transformation. Neither keeps us in relationship with reality. Faithful witness holds hope and reality in paradox. Faithful witness harnesses the tension to create the opportunity for meaningful change, for us to show up in the world and make it a little better. Sometimes a lot better. It's rare, and it happens. In our reading today, you heard Rebecca Solnit. She talks about hope as a commitment to uncertainty. She talks about how the future is not yet written. It is, in fact, written by our own actions. This is the posture we saw of the celebrants in Gaza. They have learned this lesson in a hard way none of us wish to experience in our own lives. But they have learned the lesson, and they are trying to teach it to us through their example. What a disservice it would be to them for us not to show up and listen to the lesson they are trying to teach. Faithful witness is seeing what is, without collapse, without denial, staying supple, spacious, available, allowing the light, the divine, to reveal what yet may become. A light that is not separate from us, but is us and part of us as we are part of Him. That is hope's soil. That is a faithfulness with a place to stand and the lever required to move history. Let's bring this down to something perhaps a little more practical and less global in scale. When we choose hope, when we are choosing hope, it is not a feeling that we're waiting. It is a practice that we choose. It's not a feeling that we're waiting for. It is a practice that we choose. In my own spiritual journey, I once mislabeled this practice as optimism. I said, I'm choosing to be an optimist. But as we go deeper in our spiritual journey, we start to realize that the field around any virtue is cluttered with near enemies. And the act of thinly divining and parsing and understanding those nuances so that we can continue to improve our aim and hone in on the true virtue without being distracted by its many counterfeits is part of the spiritual journey. If that language I just used makes you curious, I once again will recommend Near Enemies of the Truth by Christopher Wallace as a book you should put on your bookcase for future reflection and reading. Hope grows, faith grows, in the space created by truthful presence. Every act of choosing hope is an act of writing a different future. Showing up when we'd rather check out. Making that apology you've been putting on. Volunteering to give your life energy to those who need it right now. Voting even when you're not confident that yours is going to make the difference you hope for. Standing or sitting or holding the grieving while they are in there. Creating beauty, telling the truth, lighting a candle in the dark. When you sit in a giant stadium filled with 70,000 people, one cigarette lighter is a distant sparkle. 70,000 of them is a sea of light. Choosing to take yours from under the bushel, as they say. Your willingness to hold it up even when you might be concerned it could be embarrassing to you. Matters. Every light we are willing to shine, and every moment that we are willing to do so matters. Each one is a fragile flame that doesn't deny the dark, but nor does it surrender the horizon. Amen.
Each week we give an offering to sustain this spiritual home and support the work of our fellowship. Today's offertory music is The Lament by the Wild Geese. May our gifts in this music be blessings. The offering will now be grateful.
Now we return to this beloved house, where our covenant lives in the announcements and invitations we share. Next Friday, December 12th, we will be hosting a social justice training opportunity for all congregants. It will be from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. here in the sanctuary, and it will be virtual with author Deepa Iyer. We will be looking deeper into her work in the new year, so this is a good opportunity to familiarize yourself with her social justice framework. If you're unable to attend, but you have that time available at home, you can also find a link to register yourself and attend virtually for $35. We have, in our sanctuary, the author's permission to host a group joint event here, so you can come to the church and attend free of cost, and you'll be with a group of us here in the sanctuary to do that work together. There is a sign-up sheet in the back at the welcome table, and if you have questions, you can check in with Zach Hunter, Candace White, or myself. You are invited to participate in weekly protests against the Pflugerville ICE Detention Center every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., or y'all, it's more like noon to 2 p.m. I'm not giving you a free hall pass. The protest will be along Kelly Lane near Blackhawk. Details are in the messenger, or contact Susan Patterson. The December selection for the SGUUF book club is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. The group meets at 2 p.m. second Thursday of each month. Their next meeting is on the 11th of this month. If you'd like more information, please email Elaine St. Marie at elainestmarie@gmail.com. If you've been visiting San Gabriel for a while and want to learn more about membership, please join us on Sunday, January 11th from 12 to 2 after the service in the Fellowship House for a conversation in our new member orientation session. If you'd like to do that, please sign up at the membership table so we can make sure we have enough food. An update on our capital campaign, a contract to replace the roofs on all 3 buildings is underway, and a check to substantially reduce our mortgage balance is already in process. So that's some exciting and early fruit born of your generosity. I'm excited to preview that on December 21st, we will have an all-ages holiday service coordinated by Candace and Mel. Please show up and support that. Should be really fun and lovely. And also, as usual, we will have a Christmas Eve service on December 24th, 7 p.m., 6 p.m., at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve, so you can come do some traditional caroling and Christmas music. And do we have a reader yet? Oh, you get somebody even better than me to read you the night before Christmas. Thank you, Woody. All right. And that's the news. Yeah. After service today, please join Mel, put candles in batteries to get us ready for the 21st. Candles in, yeah, whatever. I don't care which way you do it. You got to take it out from under the bushel so people can see it. So whatever it takes to get that done, I trust your discretion and judgment. Yes. If you're responsible for that tree, please stand up. Thank you, Mel. Me too. Thank you, Molly. Anybody else want to shout anything else while we're in free-for-all mode? All right, going once. The Bears. And Lando Norris is the Formula One World Champion for 2025. I could have done that during Joys and Concerns, I suppose. Thank you all. And that's the news from This World House. Nope, that's the news from, what is the name of this segment? Oh, that one. Yeah, This Beloved House. Thank you.
Trying to stop laughing. Okay. We close with words of covenant, promises we make to one another and to the world. Let us share them together in a unison reading. Love is the spirit of this community. Truth is our sacred quest. Justice is our prayer. We dwell together in peace. We seek wisdom in freedom. We serve life in fellowship. We grow in harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Our returning song is Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in the Teal Hymnal. Please rise in body or spirit as we gather our voices once more, carrying forward the strength and hope we have found here.
Standing on each mountain plains, far away from the rolling ocean, till my pride and Lord can slay. I've been sailing all my life now, never more or for that I know. Why the works is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my home. Sunlight sail and moon my rover, as I fly was glory see, leaning over the earth in wonder, casting questions into the deep. Drifting here with my ships from Brandon, all in different will and soul, making our way from the lights of the heavens, and our beautiful blue home. I give thanks to the waves of holy week, fill a great flame turning me on. Breathe the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the heavens, never harbor or fortress I know. My universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue home.
Please recite after me the words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love is our center. When only ashes remain, love endures.
I offer you this blessing. May we choose hope. Not the near enemies of optimism or pessimism, but the grounded, spacious, courageous posture that opens the world to becoming. Amen. Ashe. Shalom. Blessed be.